Hello everyone, I am Patricia Ruiz from the Autoimmunity, Immune Nutrition and Tolerance Research Group of the Faculty of Pharmacy of the University of Barcelona, and I will briefly explain you the communication entitled Effect of Cocoa and Orange Polyphenols on Cytotoxic and Phagocytic Activities of Rats Following an Intensive Training and Exhausting Exercise. It is well known that regular bouts of moderate intensity exercise offer several long-term health benefits. However, high-intensity exercise can disrupt the immune system functionality and consequently increase the risk of infection. For instance, the function of neutrophils, monocytes, and natural killer cells may be impaired by intensive exercise. On the other hand, polyphenols have shown to enhance natural killer cytotoxicity and modulate blood monocyte and neutrophil proportion and their phagocytic function. Here, we aim to assess the influence of cocoa and orange polyphenols on splenic natural killer cytotoxic activity and blood phagocytes proportion and activity after a model of intensive exercise. For this purpose, Lewis rats were fed either a standard diet, a diet containing 10% cocoa, or a diet containing 10% cocoa plus 0.5% aspartame for 6 weeks. In this period, animals were submitted to a high-intensity running training on a treadmill involving 3 trainings per week and 2 exhaustion tests. A sedentary control group per each dietary condition was also included. At the end, blood samples and the spleen were collected to assess cytotoxic and phagocytic activities. Samples from the runner animals were obtained at 2 different time points: 24 hours after the last Wednesday regular training for the trained group and immediately after performing an additional final exhaustion test for the exhausted group. Then, changes due to exercise or the diets on the phagocytic and cytotoxic activities were assessed. In these figures, the group that received the reference diet is represented in white bars, the cocoa group in brown bars, and the cocoa and aspartame group in orange bars. As it can be observed, intensive exercise decreased the proportion of phagocytic monocytes without modifying that of neutrophils. On the other hand, the final exhaustion decreased the phagocytic monocyte activity, whereas tended to increase that of neutrophils. Neither the cocoa-enriched diet or the cocoa and aspartame-enriched diets prevented these changes. In fact, the cocoa diet also reduced the phagocytic monocyte proportion. On the other hand, the final exhaustion induced a higher spleen natural killer cytotoxic activity, which was prevented by the intake of the cocoa and aspartame-enriched diet. However, the cocoa diet did not prevent this change. On the contrary, it also promoted an increase in natural killer cytotoxicity. Finally, we can conclude that intensive running exercise affected the functionality of natural killer cells and blood phagocytes. Some of the changes could be attenuated by a diet rich in cocoa and aspartame. Thank you very much for your attention.